guys, welcome back to my channel. I am really excited for today's video. I'm going to be showing you guys my entire Black owned makeup collection. Events that have happened in the last couple of months. It has really obviously opened my eyes just to a lot that is wrong with the world in general. I've done a lot of my own personal research kind of behind the scenes and just educating myself on systemic racism, because I feel like, I was just having a discussion with someone, I feel like the topic of racism has almost always just been like a taboo thing in society, where it's just something that like you don't talk about. And especially like being a white woman and not truly understanding from the perspective of, for example, an African American woman, I just don't know my place and I don't want to like overstep a boundary or whatever. So I feel like just the topic of racism in general has always been something that's just so uncomfortable to talk about. But obviously in light of recent events, it's something that we need to have open dialogue, open conversation about, and I do want to continue that on my channel. So I thought that today would be fun to just highlight all of the products in my collection from Black owned brands. Specifically makeup. I haven't dove into like skincare or hair care to include that. But as a consumer, one of the biggest, like most eye-opening things that I have learned in the last couple of months, or just started to really notice in the last couple of months, that I just was naive to, is how most ad campaigns only feature like light to medium skin tones, and most of the brands in stores are from white owned companies. You just don't see a lot of Black owned brands. So I know Sephora made a commitment to change their, not layout of the store, but to carry at least 15% of the products in their stores need to be, or they've committed to being, from Black owned brands, which I think is a really cool initiative, and I hope to see this come to light. So I want to make the commitment to do the same in my makeup collection and get anywhere between like 15 to 20, even 25% Black owned, or just not necessarily like white owned makeup brands. So that's my goal. So I'm gonna show you where we're starting. I finally received my last order that I was waiting on, and I'm definitely interested in ordering more. So I would love your guys' recommendations in my comments down below on the products that you love from other Black owned companies that maybe I just haven't heard of, or just ones that I need to check out. I know I really want to purchase the Flower Bomb palette from Midas Cosmetics. I've gone a little bit, and by a little bit, you guys know I always mean a lot, that I've gone a little bit buck wild in the month of July and spent quite a bit. I doubt August will be much different, but I'm holding off just a little bit before I purchase that Midas palette. But that's definitely on my radar, and one that I do intend to pick up in the next couple of months. But if you guys are interested in seeing all of the products that I currently own from various Black owned brands, stay tuned. First, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you consider doing so before you leave today. I do post a minimum of 4 times a week, so if that's something that interests you, don't forget to subscribe. Before moving on, and other than that, let's just jump into the video. Okay, so I feel like it's gonna come as no surprise that the bulk of my Black owned makeup collection comes from Fenty Beauty. I have a pile in front of me, and I just absolutely love Fenty Beauty as a brand. I love that they have just pushed the limits and pushed the cosmetic industry. I think a lot of times with celebrity brand lines, I just feel like Rihanna like dove head first into this, whereas sometimes with other celebrity makeup lines, it's like they'll launch a product or two and it truly just feels like a money grab, whereas I feel like you can tell Rihanna like puts her heart and soul into this brand. At least that's how I feel. I've also mentioned on my channel before, I've had some hits and misses from Fenty. I'm not a huge fan of the Fenty concealer, nor am I a fan of the hydrating foundation. So not everything works for me, but they're still a brand that no matter what they release, I I'm interested in. I know I'm very interested in her new skincare line, but I have a huge stack of stuff to share with you guys. So let's start with my highlighters. I have 4 full-size highlighters and 1 mini. So this mini came in a set, and this is a mini in the shade Sandcastle, which I actually have as part of a split pan in another one of my highlights. I did purchase 2 of the summer release highlights a couple of years ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't wear these on my face, but I do try and incorporate them into my routine as eyeshadows. So I have this one, which is in 7 Day Weekend and Poolside. Very, very pretty. And then I also have this one, which has Sandcastle and then Mint Mojito. Again, really, really pretty. And then you guys know my favorite highlighter pretty much in my entire collection is the Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal highlight. This is my go-to perfect highlight shade. I absolutely adore the more subtle side, and I mix in this more intense side too. I think both are beautiful. When I finish the subtle side of this highlighter, first of all, I will give myself a huge pat on the back because that is a lot of highlight to use, and I never thought I would be one to actually finish a highlighter off, but I absolutely would repurchase this. And then I also have Girl Next Door and Chic Freak, which looks like this. I do love a warm toned pink highlighter, so I absolutely wanted to pick this up. I'm also really interested in picking up Mean Money and Hustla Baby, but those are all of my highlighters from Fenty. But those are all my highlighters from Fenty. Another favorite from Fenty for me is her powder bronzer. I'm very interested in picking up her cream bronzer, but this is in the shade Into Sun. I think that this is an absolutely stunning bronzer. It's more of like a cool toned light neutral bronzer, and I really enjoy this, especially when I'm more fair toned. This works a lot better for me. I've been obviously tanning the shiz out of my body lately, but I do think that the Fenty bronzer formula is really nice. I know a lot of people have said that they feel like it pulls too warm for them, but I haven't found that personally. One of my more recent pickups was one of the Fenty cream blushes. I know a complaint of these has been that it is a really small pan size, which compared to like her full-size products, here, it is the same size as one of the mini highlights. But I personally have so much blush I don't know what to do with. If you like solely have 1 or 2 blushes, maybe I could see why this would be something that you couldn't justify paying the $20 for, because you would go through it really quickly. But for me, I think that this is perfect. I like that it's smaller, and I actually think that $20 is a really fair price. I really want to pick up the shade Rose Latte and intend to do that in the near future. I also have the Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice eyeshadow palette. I forgot to mention the Fenty Snap Shadow eyeshadow palettes, the like 6-pan eyeshadow palettes that snap together. Not a favorite of mine from the brand, but like I said, hits and misses. I'm always still interested in their releases. So this is what the Moroccan Spice eyeshadow palette looks like. I enjoy this one. It wouldn't be a favorite, nor would it be one that I would say you need to go run out and grab, but I did get this in a BoxyCharm and I've enjoyed using it. Also recently I have picked up 2 of the new, I forget what they call these. Oh, really little font. Slip Shine Sheer Lipsticks. I have mine in the shade Makeout Break, which is this really beautiful sheer nude shade. So pretty. Here, I will pop this over my liquid lipstick just so you can kind of see. It just adds a little something to the lips. It is really sheer and not the most long-lasting formula, but I still really enjoy these. So after I purchased this, I liked the formula and wanted to try another shade, and I thought this one would be really pretty for the summertime. This is in the shade Tang Thang, and it is a really beautiful kind of like fiery orange color, but again more sheer, so more approachable and more wearable for like your everyday average Joe. I'm comfortable wearing this. I wore this out to dinner the other night and I really enjoyed it. In fact, I wore this and then I topped it with another Fenty lip gloss that I really like. This one is in the shade Cheeky, and it's pretty similar in tone to the lipstick, but it's a little bit more red and a little bit more shimmery, but the 2 of them paired together I thought was really beautiful. And then the last for Fenty, I have all my Fenty Gloss Bombs. So I have gone through a full size of the Fenty Original Gloss Bomb. I have a full size of Fussy. I have a full size of Diamond Milk. In fact, I have a full size of Diamond Milk on backup as well. I do intend to pick up the Original Gloss Bomb again in the full size. I really enjoy that one. My favorite shade is Sweet Mouth. I got this in the holiday set. And then I have the other shades from the holiday set as well. I've gone through a mini of Fussy. It's one of my favorite gloss formulas by far. So anytime they are coming out with a new shade, I'm like, yep, I want that. I still need the clear one. I also do have the Fenty Stunna Lip Paint in Uncuffed. This is a really, really beautiful mauve toned liquid lipstick. I enjoy the formula of this a lot. It's really nice and liquidy, very comfortable, and this is something that I reach for a lot in the fall time. Love the shade. I think that this is one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. I also really like the Ofra liquid lipstick formula as well as Dose of Colors, but I'm really interested in picking up the red shade from Fenty. I've been eyeing that one for a long time. It just looks so vibrant and beautiful, but I'm also really bad at wearing my red liquid lipsticks, so I probably don't really need it. Sorry, I almost forgot about these as well. So I have 3 of the Fenty matchsticks that like snap together. So I have the shade Amber, which I usually just use as a nose contour. It's a contour shade, really nice and gray toned, like really cool toned, and would make a great contour. I don't love cream contour on my actual cheeks. I don't contour all that often, and this is like really gray toned, so I don't love this one on my cheeks, but I do love it as a nose contour. And then I recently received both of these in a BoxyCharm or Boxy Charms. So I have this one in the shade Rum, and this is basically like a bronzy highlight. I could use this as a bronzer topper. It is really, really beautiful. I also like to put this on my shoulders, and I think it is super pretty. And then I also have this shade, which is Unicorn, which is not something that I would normally wear, but again, I really like to use this one on my shoulders. And this is one too that I could put on my eyes and kind of use as like an eye base or a really easy just like sheared out eyeshadow if I was looking for a really simplistic look. And I absolutely love the packaging on these, like that they snap together. It's just so convenient. I feel like if you had a full range of like a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight, you could just snap these together, toss them in a travel bag, and you would be good to go. So really enjoy these from Fenty, and that is my entire Fenty collection. So then from Beauty Bakery, I currently own 3 things from Beauty Bakery. The first thing I ever owned from them was this highlighter palette. This is the Milk and Honey highlighter palette. This I was sold on due to the swatches online, but it is, or they are very, very intense. And like this icy pink shade is a little bit too icy. The Milk and Honey shade, the like orange shade, is really beautiful. And actually I need to pull this out and try this because that is freaking stunning. Queen Bee is the darker of all the shades, or the darkest of all the shades. There it is right there. Probably a little bit too dark for me, but no big deal. And then we have Spoiler Alert, which is super icy and not something that I can get away with. So this didn't turn into a favorite highlighter palette, but for some reason I can't get rid of it. And honestly, I actually really like the top 3 shades. Even though this pink one is a little bit icy, I feel like I could make it work in the winter time. I do love a good icy pink highlighter shade, so this one is still going to remain in my collection. I also own one of their lip whips. This wasn't my favorite formula, but I do love the shade that I have, especially for the fall time. I think it is beautiful. This one just kind of wears away, not the most flattering, which is why it wasn't a favorite of mine, but this does last like a really good amount of time. It is a little bit drying on the lips, but I enjoy the shade. Won't declutter this, but likely wouldn't purchase any more of these unless there was a super unique shade that I felt like I couldn't get anywhere else. And then most recently, I picked up their Flower Setting Powder. I have yet to try this, but I'm really excited about this because I hear so many people rave and recommend this. Cannot wait to give it a go. So then I own quite a bit from Juvia's Place, not as much as many people do, but what I do own, I own 4 of their eyeshadow palettes. I have owned more at one point, but I have decluttered a couple. So I own the large Magic palette. This one is absolutely beautiful, especially if you like to play around with shimmery colors. I think this is really nice. They do have a Magic Mini, which I would honestly purchase over that in the future. I wish that it was available when I purchased the Magic. I also own the Deuce palette, which is, again, really, really pretty. I really enjoy this. I have Pan in a shade in here. Probably my favorite and easiest palette to use from them is the Nubian Mini, which looks like this. This one's super easy to just toss in a bag and go. This one's easy to reach in for on days that I am just trying to like rush out the door for work, and I just think this one is super nice. And then also I have the Saharan, which used to intimidate me a lot more than it does now, but I think that this is a stunning palette, and I really like some of the pops of color in here. I love this blue, I love this shimmery green, and then the pops of orange I think are absolutely beautiful as well. And then also from Juvia's, I do own their concealer. I have mine in the shade 19. I really enjoy this concealer. I find that it is pretty full coverage, but at the same time feels very lightweight and hydrating underneath the eyes. I actually did not expect to love this one. I'm going to swatch it. It's a little bit light for me right now, but I wasn't expecting to love this one. I thought it would be thicker and more mattifying, but it worked really well for me, and I also really love that it has the larger doe foot. That's just something I personally prefer. So I definitely do recommend the, I almost said Hourglass, the Juvia's Place concealer. I own a few things from Pat McGrath and definitely want to own more. So I do own these two palettes currently. This, I don't know if you can still get. I thought it was a limited edition palette a couple of years ago. It is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation. Looks like this. Very beautiful. I was a little bit let down in the blue shade, but the rest of the shades in this palette are just absolutely stunning. I do love the Pat McGrath formula, and I do think she does truly make a very special shimmer shade, as I'm sure you guys have heard before. And then I own the large Mothership. I thought that this was like the Bronze Seduction. This is what this one looks like. You guys know I have this like thing about green eyeshadow, so I had to purchase this for these like transformative shades. I also love this red, and this gold is just like the perfect shade ever. I use this so often if I'm doing a more neutral look and I'm going in with like, you know, just like your basic neutral like transition shades, and then I do a lighter champagne shade on the lid that's like shimmery. I will go in with this kind of in the outer V and like blend it into the middle just to make everything mesh together, and there is just something so special about this shade. So I do love this palette. $125, very, very expensive. I'm very interested in the Divine Rose and the Divine Rose 2, but I'm trying to resist. But Pat McGrath does make a great eyeshadow. And then most recently I had picked up the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I still have yet to try this, and I feel like the reason is I know how expensive this is, and I'm just so nervous to try it. But girlfriend, you spent $68 on this, you need to try it. So I will be doing that soon. I know I am still interested in trying the Pat McGrath concealer as well, and if you guys have any other Pat McGrath recommendations, leave them for me down below. From Danessa Myricks, I do own one product from her, and I am very interested in other products from her line. She seems like her brand in terms of like cream products just looks so aesthetically appealing to me. So this is the Wet Balm, and I gotta be honest, I am still trying to learn how to best use this. When I swatch it on my hand, it looks beautiful, but on my face I feel like it just blends away into nothing, and it is a little bit sticky, so I do like to set this with a highlight. I was gonna declutter this at one point, but I'm really happy that I held on to this because I am learning how to use it and learning how to like it. I'm definitely interested in trying more products from Danessa Myricks, specifically some of her like eye products. She has some beautiful pigments that I have my eye on, as well as some cream shadows. So if you guys have tried anything from Danessa Myricks, let me know what you've tried and what you recommend down below, because I'm really interested in trying more from this brand. From Oma Beauty, I have their Woke Concealer. And I'll be honest, you guys, the first couple of times I used this, I wasn't the biggest fan. The actual formula is a little bit thicker than I had anticipated that it would be, and I don't think that the shade is perfect for me. So I do have mine in the shade Fair Lady T1, which I think is on my like hand. It looks like it might be the right color, but on the eyes it's almost a little bit like maybe a shade too dark. So I would love to try a different shade of this, but this blends out really, really nicely, and it doesn't look too cakey underneath the eyes. I was worried it was going to be very cakey because it is thicker, but I like to just do a couple dots here and a dot in the outer corner and blend it with my finger and then go over with my beauty blender, and I think it has a really, really beautiful finish. It feels hydrating underneath the eyes. I am really interested in picking up their foundation next. I saw Allie Glines try it out and it looked so beautiful on her. I also really want the lip bar like face palette after watching Allie Glines' video. I'll link her video down below. Her full face was just stunning. But currently this is the only product that I own from Uma Beauty. And then the final thing I have to share with you guys are some single shadows. So I own some single shadows from 2 Black owned brands. So here's my newest. These are all new singles, and I have more coming, and I'm so excited. I've been having so much fun dabbling in single shadows, but I have some from Clarity Cosmetics. Those arrived to me last night. I was so excited about it. I ordered this shade right here. I don't want to pop them out, you guys, and like get the shades, just because they're like really tightly put in there. But I also got this lavender shade. It's really similar to this one that I have in the shade Perry from Gimme Glow Cosmetics, which is not Black owned. Good God from JD Glow Cosmetics. JD Glow Cosmetics is the other Black owned brand that I have ordered from. So I have Good God from them, Peachy Keen, and then Bora Bora. And then, sorry, back to Clarity. So I have these 2 purples. I actually have this one on my eyes today. I feel like I probably could have worked on my blending a little bit more, but I was struggling. And then these 3 greens are also from Clarity Cosmetics. You guys know I absolutely love my green eyeshadows, so I couldn't resist. So let me know what Black owned brand I need to order from next in terms of single shadows. There's a couple that I have my eye on. I would love to hear what you guys think. But other than that, that is going to wrap it up for today's video, sharing my Black owned beauty collection. I would love to hear from you guys down below about your favorite Black owned brands, your recommendations, like I said. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I do want to do a full face of Black owned brands coming soon. I mean, I don't really have anything else I need to pick up. I feel like I can do a full face. I just need to film that video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video. I will try and leave linked in my description box my current percentage of Black owned brands compared to like my whole makeup collection. I'll try and leave that link down below, and we will slowly track my progress as I bring in more to my collection. But thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel as you always do. I really appreciate it. I hope you are having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.